had Zena on the show, and I know she talked about life pre-COVID compared to now. What is your take on the biggest differences and how you feel about that?
Well, pre-COVID, I'm not gonna lie, people were racist.
Yes.
Like, people were racist. They're like,
yes.
if you're American, why are you black? I'm like, first of all, you're wrong and you're wrong. You're wrong on so many levels. Like, just because I'm American, what color do you want me to be? Like,
yes.
I don't understand. And so people used to ask that, you know, pre-COVID and shit like that. But then there was also a way that people looked at you. If people looked at me, at least I could have, you know, I could think maybe they're curious. Maybe they want to talk to me. Maybe they're, you know, they haven't seen a foreigner before and they want to know more. And now, since COVID, it's like, you know exactly why they're staring at you. You know exactly why they're turning around and walking away. Me and Keenan and a few of our other friends went to Leshan, and the way they looked at us in Leshan when we went to go see this big Buddha, like,
every security guard stopped us and asked
you need
us.
to wear a mask when there are like a sea of people not wearing a single mask. And this guard, he comes up to me, he's like, you need to wear a mask. I'm like, they're not wearing a mask. He's like, oh, but they want to take pictures. I'm like, and I don't want to take pictures.
Right.
And I say this to him in Chinese, and I march off and shit. And like,
then suddenly he yells, everybody put on your mask. I'm like, oh, just because we're here, everybody has to put on their mask.
like,
now.
well, I'm glad that everyone should suffer if we have to suffer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's funny enough, I'll show a video of that because I was taking video just in case. I did. I took a few video clips.
I didn't even notice.
But they never came up to us again. I just got video clips of nobody wearing masks just in case.
And then we're asked to wear a mask constantly. We're asked to, we go to this place and they're like, and it's just to see it, like it's a scenic area. And people just show up, they show their health code and stuff. And this guy looks at us, he's like, you need a COVID test. I'm like, your mother needs a COVID test.
Your mama.
Like, I don't get it. Like, and then we're just looking at him like, does everyone else need a COVID test?
Yeah.
If no, why do we need a COVID? We're from Chengdu. We just traveled an hour to come here. And he's like,
and then he forgot about it. Yeah, and then he's like, okay. It's like, what the heck? If it wasn't that important in the first place, it's crazy. So do you think that China, do you feel, let me say about your personal feeling against you, do you feel more xenophobia or more racism? Because there's this big argument between xenophobia, just being a random foreigner from any country, and Chinese people being scared of you, versus racism, where they, you know, vilify you because you have darker skin.
I think the one amplified the other in this sense. So there's always been racism, right? And I feel like the racism in China before COVID had gone. It was a bit unjustified maybe to some of these people. They're like, okay, I don't like black people, I don't like dark-skinned people, but there's really no reason for me to just say it out loud like this. There's no concrete good reason. Not that many people needed a reason, but at least they had the hesitation about it. Like, this person has dark skin, I don't like it, but you know, that's where it ends. But now that there's xenophobia, they're like, this person has dark skin, so they're carrying disease. Like, it's like they have a reason to propel their racism now. They found the perfect reason to say, this person has dark skin and this is why you shouldn't tolerate their dark skin, because they're carrying COVID, they're carrying disease, they're carrying AIDS and shit. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like they found the perfect excuse to brainwash everyone with.
It's a very good point. One amplified the other. It's a very good point. But I know we talked about this the other night with our friend George, because you and him, they speak very good Chinese, because George has been here a couple of years longer than you. He's been here for 10 years. Yes, they speak very good
you
Chinese.
You should George on this show.
I should. I really should.
If you can catch him.
Exactly. I'm like, come here, George. Come here. Because he would be really good to talk to, because he's been here so long.
He's very insightful.
Very insightful, and he's like experienced a lot with Chinese culture that many foreigners don't get to experience because I don't speak the language. But he drives, he can understand what they're talking about, and that's what I wanted to get to talk to you about. because we talked about it almost being, because I feel almost a little blessed that I don't know Chinese. Since you both are very experienced Chinese speakers, because I know I don't speak Chinese very well, so I'm always curious about what people are saying. And I know we were talking about the other night, ignorance is bliss when it comes to, you know, how well you know Chinese, because you can hear them say very hurtful things sometimes. What is your take on that?
Well, there's a trajectory in living in any expat community, I feel. So here specifically in China, like the first 2 years, maybe even the first 3, the ignorance is bliss component, like depends on where you come from. But for me particularly, those first 3 years were amazing, just because you're in your own little bubble, you're a foreigner amongst a sea of locals and stuff. A lot of rules don't apply to you. You're just in your own space, you're doing your own thing. Things are cheap here. You can't really understand what anyone is saying about you. And then as you learn more and more Chinese, the more you can pick up and the more you can understand about the culture here, the way the locals understand you as a foreigner by your skin and by where you come from, and also how you present yourself. I do not walk outside in sweats looking like a homeless man because my skin color already works against me. So I
put on socks when I wear flip-flops outside because I don't want no kind of jokes
about my
black
feet.
Hands and black feet.
No. Even when at my job, the job that we both worked at, I used to work at it, and when we used to make review videos, we're supposed to point to these to letters and stuff as we make review videos. I don't use my finger because I don't want anyone or anyone's relatives to be looking at my black ass hand and being like, is that your teacher? And stuff. I always use a pencil. And it just goes to show it's just these little things that you do differently because you understand just what these people are saying and thinking when they see you.
And with the language, it must go deeper.
With the language, it's like when you're walking in the streets, I had no idea just how much these people say about you under your breath. Like just making comments as you pass. If I'm walking around with a white guy, like some of my white friends and stuff, like, oh, 他好帅, like he's very handsome. Or they're walking around like with me and like maybe my black friends and stuff, like 他好黑呀, oh, 那么黑. Like they're like, oh, they're so black and stuff. And that's just exclamations that they make. They say horrible things.
Yes.
Like I've had friends walk around just, walking to the local supermarket or something. It's just like, wow, I didn't know I landed in Africa as you walked by and stuff. Right?
Because even back to the ignorance is bliss thing, I'm really glad almost sometimes that I don't understand because I know how defensive I am, especially as an American. Like I'm super defensive about that. And I do want to be combative. How do you feel about being combative? Do you feel the urge?
Well, since I know this culture well, I know that I can't just say, well, I'm educated and I've come from here and I do this. Sometimes, because you don't have that much time to retaliate.
Of course.
I just say a few things to make them think twice. Right? Are you so uneducated that you don't know the difference between China and Africa or something like that? Or I'm not that black and I look at them. And then the child that said that or the parent that condoned the child saying that looks over at their kid and then they walk away or something like that. You need to start small because that's the attention span these people have. They're just making passing remarks thinking they go unnoticed. If you let them know that you understand exactly what they're saying, they'll at least watch their mouth around you. So in elevators and stuff, if I'm traveling up and down in elevators and I'm in a group of people in an elevator, sometimes I listen into their conversations and I kind of like smile and laugh and stuff, like if they say something funny, just to show that I understand. So you better watch your mouth.
Yeah. And that's why I want to learn Chinese. Let somebody say something about me.
Because I'd rather
be on that ass. On that ass. Oh, I can't wait.
Right, because I'd rather know and be miserable than be dumb and happy.
Yes, because someone else said, I think it was Uncle G, that you have to combat them with certain words and certain things. If you get super defensive and angry, that will work less in your favor. With if you say, you know, this, you're losing face, or this is bad against your country.
Because here they don't really care about being polite. They don't really care about your level of education. What they do care about in this country is their their face, first of all, their reputation. And their reputation not just for themselves, but for their country. So if you say, you're shaming your country when you call me
ignorant,
when you call me the N-word, when you say horrible things about me, you just turn around and you say, you're shaming your country. And if you can learn how to say that in Chinese in these dire moments, then you know, that's your way of retaliating. It might work, it might not. At the end of the day, you are a foreigner in somebody else's country. So it always comes with
a little treading lightly.
A little treading lightly, because this is not your country. No matter how long you stay here, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, it will be made, it will be known. You will never forget that this is not your country.
Right. But anyway, thank you for coming and sharing your story, your thoughts and your views. I really appreciate it. Are there any final thoughts?
I love you.
I love you. And I'll miss you. You shouldn't go.
I stayed an extra week.
She stayed an extra week, so hopefully this isn't the last time that I'll see you.
I'll meet you back home.
Yeah, but until next time, guys.